The NAR settlement is the biggest shift that the real estate market has seen in over 40 years. Realtors are going to be out of business if they don't master the basics of communicating what the lawsuit is and what their value proposition is. It's never been more important to know how to interview and be hired as a real estate agent.
And this is not new information. The top agents in your industry are already using these strategies of communicating their value clearly and efficiently, handling objections before they come up, and having the systems in place that make this repeatable and sustainable. The agents who are able to clearly communicate what the lawsuit is and how it's going to affect us and how we conduct business are the ones who are going to excel in this market.
That's right. In this section, we'll break down what the lawsuit is, how we got here, and how to thrive in this challenging market. So first off, what is the NAR settlement? The NAR settlement has brought about two major changes in the real estate industry. The first is that a signed buyer representation agreement is required for every showing with every buyer every single time. The second is that compensation for a buyer's agent can no longer be advertised publicly on the MLS. We'll dive a little bit deeper into each of those points so you understand the situation clearly and can explain it to your clients. In several states, buyer representation documents have always been required for every showing every time. However, that's not the case in every part of the country. In our state, our buyer representation document includes a section about compensation. So that has always been negotiable between the buyer's agent and the buyer themselves. A big change now in some markets is that agents are going to have these conversations up front. They have to know how to discuss what their responsibilities are as a buyer's agent, as fiduciaries to their clients, and they also have to be able to explain compensation and the fact that it may not come from the seller's side. The second decision in the lawsuit was that compensation could no longer be advertised publicly on the MLS. The plaintiffs alleged that a 2.5% commission was baked into every transaction and that it was price fixing and collusion, which simply isn't the case. Compensating a buyer's agent is really a marketing tactic. Because think about it, at the end of the day, buyer's agents have what sellers want: buyers. So in the coming months, when the change takes effect, we will no longer see 2.5% commission is payable to the buyer's agent on the MLS. We may see compensation offered in other ways on specific listings. And that'll be up to every seller and their listing agent to talk about and decide what's an appropriate compensation to pay towards the buyer's broker as a marketing fee. This is complicated stuff. When you hear it for the first time, we're going to help you explain all of this clearly to your clients and sign more listings and buyers at the compensation that you deserve.
Your ability to clearly and confidently explain what the settlement is, how it came to be, and what we're doing about it is going to be a direct reflection of your ability as a real estate professional. So how did we actually get here? There are over 1.5 million agents across the country, and only the top 10% of those agents are doing more than 4 deals a year. The licensing requirements to become an agent are not that difficult, which is why we have 90% of agents stumbling their way to the closing table, leading clients that are still uneducated by the time they buy or sell their home. And that leaves the last 10%, which is you, taking the time to watch this training and become educated on market shifts and strategy, holding the weight of all of this judgment on the industry as a whole.
That's right. We're bearing this reputation that isn't necessarily our fault, but it comes with the title real estate agent. However, that presents an opportunity for us. I'm always one to try to look at the good and see where we can benefit from what's going on. And there has never been a better time in my career, in over a decade, to make a mark as a real estate agent. Simply put, when you're out in front as a professional, leading the charge, leading your clients, and clearly explaining what's going on with the lawsuit and your value proposition, you will exceed. You will be a winning agent. The top agents who have the most market share made big moves after the Great Recession. I can think of several people who have top teams in multiple markets, who own multiple market centers, who have revenue share groups exceeding 10,000 people. The one thing they all have in common, regardless of brokerage and brand, is that they took massive action and educated themselves at a time when it was extremely difficult to sell real estate. So don't be afraid of the NAR settlement. See this as an opportunity. It's your chance to shine and take market share.